I said we're going live. We're going live. I'm yelling timber. You better move. All right, here we go. It's happening. I know. People, you saw the notification. You didn't believe it. You thought there's no way it's actually happening. It's been so many weeks. There's no way it's back. There's no way it's real. There's no way it's true. God, have I died and gone to heaven? I can't believe it, but yes, here we are. Welcome, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to Q&J Today. Please, as you're coming in, say hello in the chat. I've missed you all. Say hello in the chat. Let me know what you've been up to. Yeah, we're going to give like 2 minutes for everyone to come in, and then we are going to get started. I'm real happy to be doing this again, everybody. Oh, my word. Welcome back, team. Welcome back, everybody. Oh, no, I don't want that. No, I don't want that. Sorry, everyone. Sorry if there's like an ad that shows up. There was this new button at the top, and I clicked it, and it said ad inserted. And I didn't know that was even something that you could do at this point. That's how long it's been since we have done a Q&J today. Oh, man, it's so good to be back. All right, everyone. Welcome. Let's give some shout outs to some folks who are here. NF Fan is here. Deva is here. Jayadeep is here. Brian Slater, Aaron, Caleb, Yuri, Lauren, Franny, so many. Sudia. Oh man, so many familiar names. It is so good to see those names in the chat again. It is so good to be back here on Q&J today. How exciting, y'all. It has been a time. It's been a time. Yeah, it's been quite some time since we did one of these. I have been very busy, a lot going on since the summer started. I've been traveling a lot. I've been speaking at a lot of different camps and doing a lot of different projects that have been really fun. Obviously, you've seen that this YouTube channel has slowed down a bit. Don't worry, that is just temporary. To be totally honest with you all, I've been in a bit of a rut with this channel, not really sure what I want it to be moving forward, sort of what I want to do with it. I've been really lacking clarity for really the last like 12 to 16 months. But I do not intend for that to continue much longer. I really intend to focus in and spend some time and really try and figure out what I want to do with this channel moving forward and move forward and do that stuff, whatever it is. But anyway, welcome to Q&J Today. This is the show where I hop on to answer some of your most pressing questions. So as we're getting started, please start throwing questions over in the chat. I'm going to start pulling those questions. I'm going to start responding to them in just a minute. As always, I do not promise to have any of the answers to any of these questions, but I do promise to be as honest and as open with you all as I possibly can. These can be questions about whatever you all want to talk about today. That is what I'm here to do. I'm here to hopefully provide you all with some encouragement, some inspiration, some entertainment, whatever's going to bring you value today. That's what I want to do. Before we dive in, I want to let you know that this show is brought to you by the Super Chat. The Super Chat is a really great way that you can guarantee that your question gets answered, but also every dollar given in the Super Chat goes directly towards this channel and this ministry. If you're a fan of this channel, if you're a fan of my podcast, the Johncast, part of the reason that I'm able to continue to do that work and continue to put out videos and podcasts is because of the support of people like you in the Super Chat. And so if you're in a place where you're able to give just $1, $2, $5 in the Super Chat, every dollar makes a huge difference. You can click the little money symbol located just under where you type something into the chat. Again, you give $1, $2, $10. It makes such a huge difference, and I would appreciate it very much. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get down to business. To defeat the Huns, let's answer some questions. Again, I apologize for my voice today. If it sounds a little tired, I am getting off of back-to-back weeks of camps, one high school camp, one middle school camp, and my voice is feeling a little bit tired today, but I wanted to hop on because it's been so long. Let's answer some questions. All right, Aaron Berta asks, what is your favorite kind of potato? Great question. So are we, what do you think? Are we thinking baked potato, twice baked potato? My dad makes an incredible twice baked potato. my mouth is watering just thinking about it. Or are we thinking, you know, maybe non-traditional? Are we looking at French fries? I would tell you right now that Sweet Bear, my wife, her answer would be French fries, no problem. But my answer, I'm going to have to go with hash browns, shredded hash browns specifically. I make myself a full breakfast pretty much every morning. Every morning that I'm home, I make eggs, I make veggie sausage, I make toast, I do a little bit of sauteed spinach and hash browns. I love hash browns, definitely my favorite kind of potato. Alrighty then. Lauren Clapman asks, how's your running going? That's a great question. Thank you for thinking of me. My running is not going well. Ever since really I started training for my latest race, I have been struggling with some knee tendonitis, some patellar tendonitis in my left knee. I've been doing my best to sort of rest / also train, and it just hasn't been going well. I really haven't been able to get this injury to go away. And it's really starting to look like I'm not going to be able to do my race come this September. I'm probably going to make that call at some point in the next 2 weeks. And it's been pretty discouraging and pretty rough. I've been really frustrated with it. Has not been fun, but yeah, we'll see. It's a journey, you know, running 100 miles is a long journey, and it may be much longer because I may have to drop out of this specific race or maybe just roll over my admission to next year. So we'll see. Let's see. John Sullivan McCartney Evans asks, are you a Calvinist? So for those of you who are not familiar out there, Calvinism, it is a certain kind of, it is a corner of theological belief. Mainly, the father of Calvinism is John Calvin. And Calvinism has many different beliefs that it is sort of defined by. But Calvinism definitely heightens the sort of supremacy and control and sovereignty of God in the universe, and very much limits things like human freedom or human ability to choose things. For example, a Calvinist might say that when it comes to salvation, when it comes to a relationship with Jesus, we, because of our sin, we cannot on our own understand the grace of Jesus, but actually our understanding of God's grace is actually a result of his grace. That's actually only the Spirit working within us. Just like our choice to enter into a relationship with Jesus, a Calvinist would say that's actually not a choice that we made. That was something that God predestined. That's a choice God predestined for us to make. So for me personally, I wouldn't at all consider myself a strict Calvinist, but I also wouldn't say that I disagree with everything in Calvinism. And I think that's probably, again, my voice, I think that's probably true for most people. I mean, you will find some people out there who call themselves strict Calvinists, and that's fine. But what I find, the more I have conversations with people about what exactly their beliefs are and where they fall on a spectrum, is that everyone is very, very different in terms of their theology and their specific beliefs. We can all share a belief that there is one God, and things like the Trinity and things like Jesus Christ as the Son of God and Jesus as the way to unity with the Father. We can share those sort of foundational beliefs, but have so many differing beliefs sort of along the way. And I think that's okay. And I think that's actually something to be celebrated and to be talked about. So Franny Hawkins, thank you, Franny. It's so good to see you, and thank you for your super chat. I so appreciate you. Hey, John, how are you? Is ADITW coming back? Great question. How am I? I'm doing all right. I'm doing good. Today's been a great day. I have sort of the day off, and I'm heading into a couple weeks at the beginning of July where my schedule is a little bit more chill. I'm going to be spending a lot of time with friends and family over the next 2 weeks, and I'm really, really excited about that. Question about ADITW. So for those of you who haven't noticed, A Day in the Word, the internet's favorite Bible study, has not really been on the internet over the last couple weeks. And that is because, like I said, I've been taking some time to really try and figure out what I want to do with this channel moving forward. And so I'm not sure what the future of ADITW specifically is going to look like. But what I do know is that the future of this channel, whatever it is, will seek to help people understand and engage with the Bible more. Whether that is through hosting a weekly Bible study like I used to do, I don't know. But I truly believe in the importance and the transformative power of a consistent relationship and study of the Bible. And so that absolutely, I know, I'm sure of, will be foundational to whatever this channel looks like moving forward. And so I really would appreciate your prayers over these next couple weeks as I really try and hone in on exactly what I want this channel to accomplish. And I'd love to hear from you all. Sort of what do you look for? Why did you originally subscribe to this channel? And what are you looking for from this channel moving forward? I'd love to hear from you all, even in the chat if you want to throw that in. Fatima asks, how do you confront hopelessness? This is a great question. I think this is something that a lot of people struggle with. This feeling of being hopeless, this feeling of having sort of no way out, that the circumstances that we are facing or the emotional state that we are facing, that it's never going to get any better. And I think first of all, I want to say to sort of anyone who's out there who's feeling that way, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you are feeling that way, and feeling that way is legitimate. There are people who would tell you that you need to just forget about it, or you need to remember how blessed you are and all these things. But the reality is that our feelings, our emotions are a real thing, and they affect us in real ways. And so if you're out there feeling hopeless, I want you to know you're not alone, and I'm sorry you are feeling that way. One of the ways that I believe that we can confront hopelessness is by remembering and calling to mind what God has done in the past. I just recently released a podcast episode called Faith, a Deep Dive. And it was a deep dive on this subject of faith, specifically talking about Hebrews 11 and sort of this biblical sort of theology of faith that Hebrews 11 in our Bibles gives us. And Hebrews 11 really goes through all of these like fathers and mothers of the faith and highlights how they have shown faith, or by faith they did this, by faith Abraham, by faith Abel, all these things. And what I sort of came to in that podcast, and this is based off of a Tim Mackey sermon that I listen to and absolutely love, is that faith, and I think finding hope as well, it comes when we engage our minds and remember what God has done. Remembering God's faithfulness, remembering how God has brought hope into seemingly hopeless situations since the beginning of time. When we look at God's faithfulness in the past, I think we're given greater hope that God will be faithful in our present and continue to be faithful in our future. And so when I'm facing a situation that feels hopeless, I try and engage my mind and remember what God has done in the past. And I have a video sort of about this. It's called The Wall. It's one of my oldest and most popular videos on this channel. And really, that's what that video does. What that video does, it engages the Bible and it looks back at God's faithfulness, bringing hope out of hopelessness since the beginning of time. And then out of that, when you see God's track record of faithfulness, how could you not have greater hope that in the future God is going to continue to do that? So I hope that's helpful for you moving forward. Amal, thank you so much for your super chat. I so appreciate it. Amal asks, ever considered becoming Catholic? Good vids. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So for me, I have family members who are Catholic. I have participated in Catholic services and gone to Mass before. But for me, that is just not necessarily the tradition that currently I feel led to. That's not necessarily the tradition where I feel most connected with God. And there are certain beliefs that I have that don't necessarily align with the Catholic belief. However, someone asked earlier about, can a Catholic be a Christian? And personally, I know this is a very controversial topic. Personally, I believe absolutely 100%. I think Catholicism is in many ways a wonderful tradition and a wonderful way to experience unity with God through a relationship with Jesus. And it works. That tradition works for many people. And when I say works, I mean it helps to deepen their faith. It helps to deepen their relationship with God through Jesus. But for me, that's just not necessarily the case. Those traditions I find them a bit more burdensome, rather than, for myself personally, more burdensome than I do life-giving. And so that's one of the reasons why I am more Protestant rather than Catholic. Let's see. Blessing Heart asks a really good and difficult question. How do you put God first and live wholeheartedly for Him? This is an awesome question. I think this is something that the church talks about a lot. Put God first in your life. You got to live all in, go all in for God. But then the church, I think, in many ways does a really poor job of actually equipping us and actually practically showing us what that looks like. So for me, it all goes back to Genesis. In Genesis, we learn that humans were created in the image of God, meaning we were created as a reflection of who God is here on earth, God's goodness, His beauty, His power, His might, His creativity. We are meant to live as a reflection of that here on earth. And not only are we to live as a reflection of that, but God also, one of His first commands to humanity is to rule the earth, and subdue it, to care for it. And so it is my belief, based on the passages in Genesis 1, that the part of the purpose of the human life is to image or reflect God here on earth by ruling and caring for the earth and the world on His behalf, alongside God. Now, obviously, sin and brokenness enters into the picture. And Jesus was sort of the solution to that. Now we are able to live that life of the image of God, reflecting and ruling alongside God in the world through a relationship with Jesus. And Jesus said, and kind of added some practicality to, well, how do we rule alongside God? How do we bring God's kingdom here on earth? Jesus added some incredible practicality to that by saying, love God, love others. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and love your neighbor as yourself. And so, to answer your question, how do we put God first and live all in for God in our lives? By reflecting who God is in every word we say, in every action that we take, by ruling the earth and caring for the world on His behalf. How do we do that? By loving God and loving others. That's sort of the best, I guess, and fullest answer or response that I can give to that question. Really, really cool. Oh, let's see. Ezekiel Hardy asks, what is your favorite TV series right now? Ooh, that's a really good question. First of all, I haven't had much time to watch any TV at all recently. However, one thing I did get to watch recently that has been sort of redemptive for me, I'm not saying this is my favorite right now, and I want to say, even before I say what this show is, a big caveat. This show has some very intense language, very intense sexuality. And so if that is something that you have a problem with and you are not interested in watching, do not watch this show. However, it's my belief that there is still some really, really important conversations going on in this show. And it's the show Friends from College on Netflix. This is not me giving an endorsement to this show. Friends from College on Netflix. It's a comedy, but it is also the first season. I didn't really like the first season very much because I watched it and thought, man, every single person on this show, every single character is just a terrible person. But in this second season, what's been really interesting is it is dealing with issues of divorce and adultery and lying and friendship, and I think really, really raw and realistic ways. And the show's challenging to watch. Like I said, some of the language is very, very intense. Some of the, sexuality in it, I think, is overly egregious at some points. But it really is having, I think, a real conversation around the human condition. And I love when stories sort of reflect back honestly the human condition, especially via a TV show. And so I was just very intrigued by the second season of that show. I just finished it yesterday. So that's perhaps why it is top of mind for me right now. Yeah. But anyway, haven't seen Toy Story 4 yet. Hoping to go see it soon. Like I said, I've been out of town. I've been all over the place. Haven't really had time to see it. But unfortunately, that is all the time I have right now. I got to sort of get back to work and get back to my day. But thank you all for watching. I really miss this. I love having these conversations with you all. I thank you for tuning in. Hopefully, I can do more of these soon. And yeah, make sure you're subscribed to the Johncast. I just put up a new episode this week. We're starting a new series on Unity that I'm really, really excited for you all to listen to. And then yeah, I'll see you all soon. I love you all. Keep being awesome.